some of the guys I came up with, go in those doors. And in my mind, I'm like, for a long time, I knew what they was doing. It's stuff just coming to light now. We knew in the 90s and the 2000s what these dudes was doing. You know what I mean? But so when you see somebody on trial or somebody get hung up on something, a lot of us like, man, we've been knew that was going on. Yeah. It's just now times change though. And you think you can keep doing the same stuff. No, times change. You can't get away with that no more.
Yeah.
Social media, the light is on you. There's certain rules, regulations, and policies have changed. You know what I mean? You can't say certain things to certain people no more. You can't smack nobody on their ass like you used to coming in the office. Nope. You got to go to HR now or you might get sued.
Hey, I don't even know if you can smack an ass in sports no more.
Right. Nah.
Like, good game.
Good game.
Oh,
nah.
No. See, I ain't even like
go see the GM.
So how the fuck you loving someone else? Every other day feel like it's raining. Life is hard and I know sometimes it be draining. Life is hard and I know sometimes it get crazy. I know.
Brought to you by.
What's good, everybody? We back here with another episode, I'm gonna call it an edition. We here with another edition of It's Harton's 1v1s. I got here familiar guests around the city and around the world. Let me not put a lamp on your light. I don't want to put no lamps on nobody's lights, man. Word. This dude's a well-traveled individual. If you don't know his name by face, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little something. We got my man Lee Feats Davis in the building, right. And I knew this dude since I was a jit. Now I'm an old jit now. He older cat, but always been a real dude. Always like kept it community, and I know the older part of your life. Right. But today I wanna tap in to the younger. I wanna know who Feats. I wanna know Feats. I wanna know why they call you Feats. You know what I mean? That's what I want today. But if you don't mind, just give people just a little rundown on who Feats is and where you come from.
Well, first of all, man, you saying Feats, I ain't heard it in so long, other than my mom. Somebody really know me said, but Feats, definitely Braddock born and bred, man. Not too far from here, Washington Street, the real bottom. Talbot Towers, B11. So yeah, that's where it began, man. Just running around, being raised by my grandma. My mom, everybody know her if you're from the hood, but she was a Black Panther. My dad was a Mau Mau, so you know what I was going to become at some point.
Yes, sir.
What I mean? Growing up with the knowledge of self and Black history all the time, and then growing up in Braddock when we had Black businesses. And so I didn't grow up not seeing that. Some people say they didn't see Black businesses or didn't grow up in that. Everywhere I looked, there was somebody Black running something in the hood. So whether it was legit or not, somebody was running something. And then my grandfather had a barbershop on 6th. So, I seen entrepreneurship up close and personal. So then, my dad, skipping a little bit, having 8, 9 brothers and sisters from Braddock, him having his own business, but he was a street dude. Robbing banks, in Fed time. So, I knew all that too, that side of the streets. But he came from a solid family though. My grandma was no nonsense. She was only going to say something once.
Oh, yeah. Don't let her say it twice.
No, if it was said twice, something was going up against your head at the same time. On my dad's side, my grandma, on my mom's side, traveled around Braddock a lot, moved around, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that wasn't supposed to happen or whatever, but, grandma, if someone, she was up and moving somewhere else, but it was always Braddock until we settled in Talbot Towers. My mom, again, military mom too. While she was trying to get her life together and get a job coming out of the military, my grandma was raising me along with my aunts and other family members. But once she settled down and got herself together, got a house, and my mom and dad got a house, he tightened himself up. Then I had the North Braddock experience.
Oh, you moved on up.
Yeah. So my grandma was gonna be my grandmother. She was always community. Everybody knew her. She was going. If you was going with her, first of the month, the 15th of the month, you was gonna go to every bar.
Yeah.
You was gonna stop at every store. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I got that social part of it. Like my grandma talked to everybody, so I learned that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was important, whether it was the number man or the owner of the bar.
The number man.
You know what I mean?
That's taking it back. These young folks don't know nothing about the number man. They know DraftKings and,
Right.
and FanDuel. The number man come around.
Number man was one of the most powerful dudes in the hood. If you wanted to play your numbers, you had to go see them. Wasn't no lottery and all that, man. Nobody had it like that. The
Don't
number man
screw
give
up
you
with
credit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the environment I grew up in, man. When everybody had love for each other, you know, and when women was women, you know what I'm saying? You walk in the room, a women is talking, they was like, hey, you need to go outside or go upstairs. Women talking right now.
Yeah.
If there was some grown men talking and they was giving game, come over here. You need to hear this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's the era I came up in. And it served me well.
So you feel like, because your upbringing, it's almost everybody's upbringing. But the way you said, like, you knew both sides, like your mom and your dad's side of the family, and they both from the 15104?
Yeah, man. My dad is from North Braddock, and my mom, and my grandmother on my mom's side came here from Bessemer, Alabama, to Crestus, and then from Crestus they moved to Braddock. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, my family been here. I'm the fourth generation. A lot of people can't say that.
Yeah,
Generation, man.
that's deep. See, I'm first generation.
Yeah.
I built this. I built this shit brick by brick, and I'll be damned if I. But
That's
no,
real.
but no, always that's my flex. Whenever I tell people, like, this is who I built myself up, like, just, I got an older brother, but you know what I mean? My older brothers ain't from over here. So all my cred is off of what I did. You know what I mean? But just going back to how connected your family is throughout the whole 15104, like, you feel like that protected you some?
Yeah, for the most part, coming up, because now it's different. Like, I see this whole situation where we got Braddock and Rankin and all that. But growing up, everybody was one because everybody was related.
Yeah.
So, on my dad's side, I got the Lees, the Thompsons, the Smiths. On my mom's side, I got the Thomases, the Grants, the Garlands, the Bivens. You know what I mean? So I was on both sides. So I grew up, and I was able to. I don't want to say able to, but I was intentional about getting to know all my family.
Yeah.
So no matter where I went, even in the city, people moved to the city or moved to other states, I was always still connected to my cousins. Always knowing what they was doing, letting them know what I was doing. And so that served me well. But I was definitely protected even when I didn't know I was protected. Meaning if I was getting ready to get into something or something was about to happen, somebody would pull my coat or say something to somebody without me even knowing, like, nah, that's little cuz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I held on to that, and I always respected that. I never took advantage of that. Or, some people want to diss their family and say all these, nah, man, I love my family, man. They looked out. And that's why I have no problem looking out for my family now. But I always knew, just based on how my grandmother moved, that I was going to be an entrepreneur, how my grandfather was. Now, on my mom's side, her dad, they was Grants from McKeesport. They was the military jobs. Everybody worked 30 years, whatever it was. So I learned that too. So I had both sides to kind of mix with, you know what I mean? I knew how to be consistent at something and then also be a freestyler. If I wanted to do the entrepreneurship, I could do that too.
Yeah.
When you mix them both together, man, it's like unstoppable force. And so that's how I really came up, man. And, I use that to my advantage to this day, man, like taking those sizes, but consistency is key to everything.
Yeah, that's one thing I've been working on, like, this year and this past year. It's been like being consistent. I'm already consistent with like work and all that stuff in my personal life, but to take my life to the next level where I wanted to be, I had to be consistent in, well, this is a hobby, but this is really what I do.
Right.
But I got to be consistent here too. So I just added a little bit more responsibility to myself. with all the protection you had in the neighborhood, you ever feel like your name got you into some stuff too? Because sometimes you be walking home from school. Oh, so and so said you was talking. Bro, your cousin said that he was gonna get you to fight me. You be like, what? He ain't even tell me. Like, yeah, he ain't get to you yet.
Right.
I'm the one you supposed to be fighting at 12 o'clock.
Well, you know what? I had uncles that was like that, man. But even back then, as a young dude, seeing how everybody was moving in the hood and dudes would talk stuff on each other. But, like they always say, dudes would fight it out, but they would be cool the next day. That's literally how it was at Talbot Towers, up on the Ave, wherever you went in Braddock. You always had a crew of cats that didn't like each other for whatever reason. But they always, either because they was related somehow or they had this common thing called music, sports, or whatever it was, it didn't go no further than a fist fight.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
hey, when they come to sports in Braddock, it better not go no further than just a little fist fight because, man, we had championships to win.
Right. And that's how it's always been around here. Only time it got kind of goofy, and back to your point of, family getting into stuff and it involved me. I never really had to go through that. You know what I mean? Because, again, whatever was going on, I was always related to somebody, so I couldn't jump in nothing.
Yeah.
But I became a mediator because of that. Like, yo, man, come on. This is grandma's, this is uncle. And sometimes they didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that was Uncle Jerry's son. Yeah, that's Uncle Jerry's son, but he just don't got the last name. Yeah. Because how black folk is. We have 2 or 3 families, man, that you didn't know Uncle had.
For real.
But that's how but I was the one that learned all that. I wanted to hear what the grown man was talking about in the barbershop and them saying, hey, I don't mess with your Uncle Johnny, man, but yeah, them was his kids. They don't really know they uncles or, you know what I mean? But I would know him. Like, I'd make it be intentional about getting to know him.
Yeah.
And then later on in life, I would like, yo, man, you don't know this, but you got a lot of family over here. You need to get to know them. Don't get caught up in what they were saying back in the day. Come on over, man. You know what I mean? So the mediation helped me out, man. Just connecting our families, man.
So I ain't gonna move too far into the interview because a few times, like, something might have happened around the way, and you rang my phone, like, oh yeah, trying to. I mean, not like that, but just putting pieces to the puzzle together. Oh yeah, we could probably try to squash this early, and I'm like, man, maybe you thought that I had, like, my family was like deep rooted in Braddock and all stuff, so you like, yeah, maybe I could get to him, but I'm like, bro, I ain't got no power. But
right, no, but my thing is, sometimes it's not about having deep roots. Sometimes it's about who you are as a person, how your mannerisms are, how people respect you or respect your name, and being in spaces. So I don't always go by this person got 1,000 family members. I just know that the kids respect you, dudes in the hood know you and respect you. So whether you was from here or not, which I never knew because you moved like you was and everybody, respected you like that, I'm always going at the sensible person, the person that can see past their hand, see more than what's going on. You know what I mean? A visionary. So that's who I always reach out to. So I never knew you wasn't until like recently, you were saying, well, I ain't really from or whatever. But in my mind, no, man, if you helping the kids here or wherever you helping folks, that's where you from. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
fact.
That's how I looked at it.
See, and I never knew, but now that we know we on the same page now. So the mediation. When was like the first time you had to use those childhood skills, like in your adult life, or even young adult? Because
No, listen, real. That's a great question, man. Not too many people have asked me that. Real time situation. We're gonna take it back to the '90s, and we'll get more into the business side because the first business I ever opened or co-created was Mo Gear, the original Mo Gear.
Oh yeah. But what you know about? Hey, what y'all know about? Hey, if you know about Mo Gear, man, drop it in the comments.
Right. If you know about the original Mo Gear, downtown Pittsburgh, not the ones that opened up later on, but from being in the game, and even in college and in high school in Woodland Hills, mediating stuff, man, getting in between things. But I really knew it was a skill and a talent in the '90s when you had E-Man and Rick Boyd going at each other. Now people don't know that before I went to Woodland Hills. I went to Alderdice first. So I was a young boy.
Oh, yeah.
Them was my old heads. Alderdice, man. I knew both of them dudes still to this day. And we've been helping Rick get out. You know what I mean? A lot of people been on my back about that, but people get a second chance, man. Like the stuff he did back then in the 90s, you know, I knew him before he became Rick Boyd. You know what I mean? So me being able to help him come out and others get out of prison, man, getting a second chance of life, that's been a blessing too. So that's a part of my calling that a lot of people don't know about that I've been doing. But seeing them dudes going at each other and how the whole city was picking a side, and there was a lot of bodies lost, you know, but they would come, but the thing they had in common was Mo Gear and me. So when they would come in there, I wasn't one of them dudes that'd be, you know, keep my head down, don't say nothing, and just think it's cool. Oh man, look, Rick, what's going on, man? You know, I'm the young dude.
Yeah.
But they respected me because of what I was building as far as business wise and the music stuff that they seen me doing. So they would listen to me because again, I was the sensible one to them. And I posed no threat to them. I wasn't picking a side. I'm just asking what's going on. How can I help? Who do you need me to talk to on this side, man, to stop what's going on? And same with E, when he would come down, man, what's going on, man? Y'all know why ain't y'all just getting this money, man?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was always on. Getting money, kicking it with the honeys, traveling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As a young dude, and that's the era we was in. So when that was going on, I that's when my mediation skills. So, and then I knew that even if I couldn't get to Rick sometimes because, you know, everybody got their own days and things that they're going through, I get to one of their lieutenants. Man, talk to Rick about this, man. I try to tell him, you know, he was in a hurry. He didn't want to hear it that day, but just reiterate this to him, what we talked about. Same thing on East side. So that's when I knew it was a skill and a gift, you know. So that's when it really kicked in.
That's dope because I see a lot of your qualities, like how you said you came to me because I'm the one that is kind of sensible. I'm like, damn, so I guess that is kind of me too. Like, because there's been a million times where I tried to step in before some stuff, like,
Right.
and this is me young, like trying to step in, like, nah, bro, it ain't even like that, like, or it shouldn't be like that. And now as I get older, after all the nicknames my friends done put on me, Streets Farrakhan, Street Sharpton, they didn't call me every peacemaker in the book, but I just always seen like the bigger picture and like, bro, I always seen like the black goal. Like bro, I always joke around with people. I say, hey, I'm living the African American dream. And people be like, man, here you go talking that bullshit. I'm like, man, what you want me to say? I'm living the all African American dream, man. I wake
It's all
up
up here. You know, before it gets here, it got to start here.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So that's why they say, man, there's dudes out here that's in a prison in their mind. You know what I mean?
It's chains and shackles. You don't even know.
Yeah. And not to say that we don't recognize there's some things that this country has done to us that's still going on to this day. If you know your history and you got knowledge yourself, you understand that. But within that, how do you navigate? How do you pivot? How do you stay alive in this world that says we should be dead by a certain year or a certain age? How do you survive and thrive and actually be able to give back or help somebody else learn those skills and still be who you are or you know, again, be the person that, you know, that you want to be in life. Not saying that you selling out or whatever people may call you trying to be funny when in regards to helping your own people. You know what I mean? They can make the jokes all they want, but there's only a certain amount of people that have ever walked this planet that left a legacy for helping their people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know a lot of dudes that done died, man, and nobody even go visit their grave or even mention their name anymore. And so, you know, there's a old African proverb that says that you don't die until the last person say your name.
Yeah.
If you understand what that means.
You know what's so wild? That's also in the Mexican culture. The Les Miserables, their little daddy did. That's why they always keep all their family and their loved ones super close because,
Right.
like they say the same thing.
Guess what culture they came from?
Yeah, hey,
Right.
and that always was the thing that showed me like we're a whole lot closer as people than we really want to acknowledge, because you know, skin color will separate you, height, weight,
Right.
hair, no hair, brown eyes, green eyes, all these things that we got to separate us, and we really use things from each civilization. You know what I mean? Not to not to give y'all a history lesson, but like the Mayans, the Incas,
Yeah.
we all built on civilization brick by brick, and
everybody had their chance to run civilization, but they all started with us.
yeah,
So whether you mention the Mayas or you mention the Shylans and the Japan, wherever in the country, the Indian, they all started from our culture.
yeah,
And so with that being said, a controversial thing that ruffles feathers in the church or faith-based people or just people in general, is when you point the finger at somebody that oppressed you or oppressing you, or let's just say because we was in bondage for over 400 plus years, we still going through some things, but that's a bleep on the calendar of the world.
Yeah,
That's one section of what, as a people, that we went through. So when I say, hey, you can be mad at the Caucasians, white folks, whatever you call them, but they came from us. We're responsible for them. You know what I mean? We got to re-civilize them. Whatever era they in, they all going to be who they going to be, but we have to take responsibility for how they came out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So we have to re-civilize them. And that may be too deep for folks, or it may be controversial, but that's the truth. If you believe that we're the original man.
Yeah. And sometimes it's going to rattle your brain. It's going to make you think, but we got Google, we got YouTube, we got ChatGPT, we got a lot of information that's readily available. Yeah. And if you don't use it, like, you're losing it for real.
Right. Because we're going towards, I know most of us grew up in this whole racial thing. And that will always be there based on how you was socialized. But at the end of the day, man, it's about the haves and the have-nots. That's where we going.
Yes, sir.
In spaces that I'm in, there's white folks that don't give a damn about, and black folks that don't give a damn about. You either got it or you don't, or you're going to make it to aspire to be in this room. Now, some of us, for me, I always knew that I was going to be something. Even when I was in the streets, before I got to that, it was already in me to own and run something. So I never had a slave mentality. And if you go back and look at the history of my family, we came over here on the Amistad. My oldest family member came as a baby on the Amistad, and then got off the boat as a free person. Once they won the case, John Adams won the case for the slaves that was coming over or was trying to be enslaved, but they never became slaves. They got off the boat. Some went back to Africa. My ancestor got off the boat with whoever that was. It was never a slave. So I never had that mentality. Some people don't understand. Like, some families got a history of hoopers.
Yeah.
Whatever reason, it's in their genes. Some got a history of just being education. That's real.
Yeah, for real.
So my family had a history of entrepreneurship and just doing what they do. Whatever it was, they made money doing it. So I had that gene in me. I had that spirit in me. So I never had that this person is superior than I am, or I can't do it because this person said I never fathomed that.
See, and I just had a conversation with somebody about how, we're all black. And, like, sometimes we overly beef with each other. Like, we'll overly get violent with each other. But I'm like, bro, we come from a whole lot of different tribes. We don't know if our tribes was beefing before we made it over here. But to get that perspective of a free man coming over on Amistad, because the Amistad I watched as a child, whew, man, my mom made me sit through it. I was like, you're not just building up this hate and this hate and this hate because you ain't see no free men coming off the Amistad, but you bringing that knowledge to me, I learned something today.
Yeah, and that's why you got to dig deep. And if you read and understand the case of the black folks on the ship, I don't know how they communicated it, but once they got on land, they was like, nah, man, they got an attorney, which was John Adams, who's one of the founders of American history. He represented them and got them off, and they became free. So you either got back on the boat and went back, or you stayed here. You know what I mean?
And that's the last scene of that movie where he's like, "Let us free, let us free." Is that's the
and they
court
won
case?
the case and they let him go.
All right. See, you know, I'm tapped in with the Amistad.
Right.
He said,
right.
"Let us free." No, that's my part though. So that entrepreneurial spirit that you speak of, you can stop me anytime you feel like I'm digging a little bit too deep.
Right. Go ahead.
you could use that entrepreneurial spirit 2 different ways. You could go legit, or you could,
Right.
go the other way. That spirit, which way did it pull you, or did it pull you both ways? Was it?
Yeah, it was parallel and opposite directions at the same time.
It looked like Penn Ave.
Right. So, in the beginning, I knew, when I left high school, Woodland Hills, and went to college. Even, matter of fact, I'm gonna back it up. When I was a kid, I had family members around me that would throw parties in my garage. Now, remember, my mom and dad moved to North Braddock. We had this garage in the back, so I had some older cousins that would throw, hood parties in there.
Yeah.
I'm watching how they doing it, and I'm seeing they making money. I'm like, yeah, one day I'm gonna figure out how to do that too. I'm gonna take it over and do my own thing. So fast forward, I get to college, and so my thing was, all right, I'm gonna find out who's the end cats, what's going on. Long story short, I start throwing parties. I find the DJs and hook it up. But I'm coming back home to the pit parties, seeing how they doing things too. And I'm going to Penn State parties. I'm going to IUP parties. So I'm looking at the best of everything that's going on, all the parties, and I'm incorporating in my stuff at West Virginia University. And so that's how I got into like my own thing of being an entrepreneur, plus loving hip hop, coming out of that thing. I was hip hop was my thing. You know what I mean? The whole culture, I bought into it. Like, I don't know, I'm not a rapper. I can't produce. I could barely break dance. I was a pop locker a little bit, but I know I ain't gonna live off of that. But how can I, infuse the culture into one thing that I can make money off of, or I can still be a part of that, but still make a living off of it somehow. And so that's what I did, man. I curated the culture. And, but by doing that, I met, this is crazy, funny, and me and my man tight to this day, one of my closest friends. So at West Virginia, I meet one of my guys at a party. We kick it as we get cool. He's from Philly. And so I'm like, yo, because, in college, you be struggling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
noodles.
man, listen, I'm gonna tell the real story. I'm down there to play football, man, but I'm not playing football. I'm goofing around. I'm not going to class. I'm barely making it.
You being a true mountaineer.
Yeah, I'm being a true mountaineer, partying like crazy, man. So my man from Philly, I see him going to class. He's Muslim, you know what I mean? But he living pretty decent. So I'm like, yo, man, he's on a track team. So I'm asking, like, what you got going on, man? So, and I seen a couple New York dudes hustling, doing whatever, but it never was like, all right, whatever. But me and him clicked. So, fast forward, me and him taking trips to Philly, coming back with pounds, not to tell his story, but his people's is part of the original Black Mafia family out there. They own restaurants, all this stuff. I never seen black folks like that.
Yeah.
Like million of black people, everybody getting along, everybody, they barter system, or everybody owns stores. I'd only seen that in New York with the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they had it going on. So we going up there seeing this man, and he's like, yo, we can keep coming up here, but just follow my lead, and my elder, he gonna hook us up, but we can't talk about it because my dad don't know we doing this, because his dad was like powerful up there.
Yeah.
So we coming back, man. I catch that bug. I'm killing the game now. West Virginia, that's before West Virginia now. Like, everybody go down there now, but back then, me and him cracked it. We found the code.
That's that Rand University.
Listen, while everybody trying to sell to the locals and all that stuff, we was hitting the fraternities. And black or white, we was the weed guys. I had a funny ass thing because I was so goofy. I had a coat on one side, had like Nicks, dimes, and 20s. On the other side, it was the you got your half ounce or an ounce in the same coat. So whatever side, I was, you want the, it was, man. Nowadays you would never do no crazy stuff like that. But on campus, man, that was my system. And we was taking orders. We was the first ones to get orders in. Like, yeah, I'm gonna order.
Oh, you was DoorDashing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Uber Eats.
Man, and so we started killing the game. But he got out of it. Like, he was just trying to make it through school and all whatever. I'm getting in, man. Next thing you know, I found a plug for something else, for something else. I'm gone now. I'm in this.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy on campus. I'm fly. I'm coming back to Pittsburgh. I'm going to New York buying the fly and shit. But I was always fly anyway before that. My mom always kept me fly. My dad always kept me fly. So I was used to that. But yeah, my empire started building. My man was like, man, I'm out of this. I'm graduating. I'm going to get out of here. He has a full plan on what he going to do. Me, all I know is I'm getting money, and this is the life I want to live. You know what I'm saying? I don't even got no vision no more at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I done got away from what I was thinking I was going to do. I'm down there in psychology major. Then, you know, eventually I end up getting kicked out or asked to leave, however you want to look at it.
I stepped down.
Yeah, I stepped down, but I'm still going. I sit out a semester. I go to CCAC because, you know, and to go back a little bit, my mom found out that I'm not in school. She don't know I'm hustling, but she know I'm not going to class. So she come all the way to West Virginia, cuss me out in front of all my boys, pack your shit up, we going back. So I do go back, but I'm greyhounding it right back to West Virginia, you know what I'm saying? So then I go to CCAC, get myself together, but I'm still rolling. And then I transfer to Waynesburg University, which was Waynesburg College back then, which was a gold, man, I'm like, man, a couple of my Pittsburgh dudes is going there. I meet some dudes from the city. I get my thing going on there now. Eventually, I was like, man, I'm going to class, but this ain't me. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here, man. And in my mind, I thought I was smarter than the professors anyway.
Yeah.
So I end up leaving and coming home, and that's when I meet my Israeli guy who's selling leathers out of his coat. And by now, I got a couple partners that got money, you know what I mean? And so I tell him, like, hey, man, you ever think about having a store? He's like, I never, you know, maybe, possibly. It's like, well, I got a couple guys, man. So, because I'm buying leathers from him, butter leathers, but then I get to know him more. So eventually, you know, fast forward, he opened a little corner store. And then I'm like, yo, we need to expand this because he ain't had no name. He's just selling leathers out of a little store.
Yeah, he's doing this Dapper Dan.
Yeah, he's just doing his thing. He going to New York or wherever, buying these leathers and selling them down here. So I get with him. He got a young lady working for him. I won't say her name. But then, you know, I say, hey, man, we can expand this. We can go get, because at that time, hip-hop clothing was booming. It was coming up. You know, everybody had a clothing brand or was trying to have one. So I get with him, and we opened up a store, but it had no name. And eventually, we settled on his name, but it was tied to the hood, too. So the dude's name was Morris, so we called it Mo Gear. So in the hood, it just was a hood slang thing. We're going to go get Mo Gear.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
So that's
People didn't know it was part of his name.
Yeah, because I would have never guessed.
People didn't know. So that's an exclusive. A lot of people don't know that. So we ended up pushing a little money into that, man. And I ended up, you know, again, I think I was probably the first, besides my man in the gold store. But as far as the clothing store, I was the first to start moving the product out the store. You know, sell you some Pele jeans and you get an ounce of Coke or however you needed it. You know what I mean? And so my empire started to grow from there. But that also tied into me doing the parties because everybody would come to the store to get fly, get that shit. I'm throwing parties.
You got the flyers right on the counter.
Flyers on the counter. I'm putting the pictures of the celebrities in the case. You know, everybody like, man, who's this dude, man? Like, man, what you... And every concert back in the day, like now, it's hard to get with the celebrities or dudes that come to town. But back then, the managers all came in the hood or to the stores. But we had the first urban store downtown with just black clothes or urban clothes. You know, you had K's and all that, Fifth and Wood.
Yeah, but that's
we
not...
catered strictly to the hip-hop crowd.
Yeah.
First time ever. So when any manager came to town, they would come to the store, and then they automatically come back with whoever they was in town with. So they would get to know me. I was taking numbers. So whenever I would do shows or something, now I got the plug. I'm calling dudes directly. You know what I mean? And so that's how it grew. And I had a couple OGs that was in the game too. You know, I followed behind, you know, Chuck Sanders was big at one time.
Yeah.
Then, you know, my guy was Salt, Sacred Productions. Salt was my guy, like watching him, how he was handling stuff, you know, not just that, but in the streets. And like if he was going out of town, you know, I remember this one time, man, I thought this was the biggest thing ever. Because, you know, you coming up, you getting money, but you ain't got no luxury car yet.
Yeah.
Like the dudes that was really getting that had the luxury vehicles. This dude gave me the Lexus with that 4.5 with the leather interior. He said, take me to the airport. You take the car all weekend. What?
Don't mind me.
Man, once I got that, I was hooked. Man, when he came back, okay, you get a car back. Now I got to get me a foreign joint, man. So from 19 or 20 years old, I ain't had nothing but a foreign car since, you know. But he introduced me to the music game and all that. But from 94 from 91, 92 to 96, 95, 96, we had Mo Gear popping. And according to the DOJ and the feds, I was a millionaire by 24. You know what I mean? Off that store and doing the shows at Kong's, under 21, one on the Sundays, over 21s on Fridays. So between that and the stuff I was doing at Kong's, man, by 24, I was officially a millionaire.
So, and the whole time you talking, I'm just thinking in my head, like, this sounds like an episode of Empire.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. When I look at some of that stuff, it's similar because a lot of stuff was going on in here that was going on in New York and DC and Philly, and I knew all them dudes too. Like, especially in the '90s, the music game was so heavy because everybody's trying to use it to get out. So I started my first record label in I think 94, and then I was doing the promos for Whammo. A lot of people remember my name on the radio every day because I'm doing the promo stuff for Nick Nice, Nicky at Night, the No Sleep Crew. And what I mean by that, if you don't know about promos, anybody watching this, that means I was putting the music together for the intros for the DJs to come on to. So that gave me access to all the rappers to put them on. Man, give me an intro for Nick Nice. So I was giving everybody a chance to get on the radio by doing intros. So I had that going on. And then that fed into the relationship again with Whammo on the marketing and promo side. So if I got a show or a concert coming, I'm already with Whammo, so I'm paying them dollars like to advertise. I'm getting a crazy discount. I'm getting them to host the shows. You know what I mean? And then from that relationship, the music program guy was like, when labels would come, bring new music or bring their artists up, they would say, hey, this is the guy you need to get with. He know the streets. He got concerts going on. He can plug you into whatever. So that's how I started meeting artists, managers, and producers. And then eventually the labels was calling me like, hey, man, we got this new artist. Can you go to the radio station, not just here, but these 3 markets and plug him in? You know what I mean? And so I started doing that. That's how I got with R. Kelly, Diddy. Everybody down the line was coming to me for something. And I kept those relationships over the years. You know, me and Puff made a ton of money by him giving me all these new acts back in the day, whether it was Lil Kim, The Lox, Mace, Biggie. We did Biggie at the Sheridan Station Square, the only time he ever been to Pittsburgh. So, but I had all those relationships with all those managers, and they was feeding me all these artists. And so I took the show on the road. We would do concerts in other cities, not just here. So that's how all that started.
All right, so you was a mover and a shaker for sure. And
yeah. Well, let me say this though. The in the 90s, everybody, like I said, was trying to get in the game. So with that being said, there was music conferences all over the country, whether it's How Can I Be Down, the New Music Showcase, what was the other one called? It was in, I forgot where it was at. But there was like 3 major music showcases or industry events. And then you had the Super Bowl weekend. You had NBA All-Star weekend. You had the Caribbean Fest in Toronto. So this where all the players would be at that was getting money. So when you was at these places after a certain amount of time, or Atlanta, you had Freaknik. We was at all these events. After a while, you just get to know dudes from Philly, from DC, from Chicago, LA, Atlanta. And so you start making them deals with them dudes. Or, you do concerts in their city. But most of the dudes that was running the labels was hustlers.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Some of them eventually went on to become who they became. But a lot of times the dudes that you've seen out front wasn't the main dude. Like Puff, that was somebody else's money. You know what I mean? Even when he left Uptown, there was dudes' money that was in the streets. So I knew all them cats, man. We all came up with each other. And so those relationships for me, some people was beefing, some people got into it because, sometimes you try to be the dude was trying to, I was never into that. I was like, even at Mo Gear, I was the middle guy. Like, I never tried to take the north side over or even out here or wherever. Yeah. I was always the dude that once I got my own plug in New York, 147th in Amsterdam, Poppy up there, once I got my own plug, it was one of them things that it was like, hey, man, there was never a drought. People were like, this is a drought. Not with me. So if the north side dude said they had a drought, they knew they could come see me. If south side or the Mon Valley or whatever, even all the way up to Youngstown, Steubenville, Erie. That's how I got to meet the Wu-Tang dudes and all them. Everybody started in the 90s, man, and they was all coming to Mo Gear to get clothes before they became who they became. So I always kept those relationships. You know, even to this day, when I talk about my man from Philly, he went on to be run a major pharmaceutical company. Now he's the head of a studio at Sony. You know, he pivoted, so that's still my guy. I still could call him for whatever advice or try to pitch his show or what have you. So I kept my contacts. And again, with Puff, regardless of what he going through now, that dude helped me out a lot, man, with them not charging me. That's when they had promo shows.
Yeah.
Give me that little Kim, man. You know, she got one single out. She'll kill it here, man. I'm getting Whammo. I'll get the club for free. They get the bar or whatever. Man, I'm making tons at the door.
Man, I know this is a little side quest, but I ran the marathon, and I know how everybody want to paint Diddy right now, but man, that boy ran the marathon in 4 hours of 4 hours, 14 minutes, and 45
But only like
seconds.
a month or so training. I remember when he did it.
Bro.
It was amazing to me.
That's
the old
determination.
Diddy.
Yeah,
That was the Diddy before he got the dumb money and became Hollywood Diddy.
yeah. That was pre-vote or die.
Right.
But I say that because even in that documentary where 50 was, 50, he tried to like kick his back in the documentary, but Diddy was so great of a, I don't even want to say, I ain't gonna say a good person, but what he did in life is so great because his determination.
Right.
Bro, it just showed like, damn, like if he could fight through all this stuff that he going through in his life as like a young Diddy, that marathon training in a month, I tried to train in a month for the half marathon, and I ain't doing it. Like
How
I did
resilient,
it.
how focused you got to be to do that. Like people, to see it on TV or to hear about somebody doing it, you take it for granted. But until like you was in it and seen what it took,
Yeah.
you get a whole different. But I knew from the door when he ran, I said, man, I got a whole different respect for this guy because I know what it takes to do that. And so with that mentality, you can't be surprised that he made it through all the stuff he did or got to the level that he got to.
Yeah.
Now, along the way, because I done been up there, you know, we had similar business managers. My business manager was Bert Padell, who was the business manager of almost every artist that came out. He's been was in the game for years. So he was the deal maker. If you ever seen the documentary, The Black Godfather, Clarence Avant, Clarence had to go through him. Like these deals was made through him. And I, by the grace of God, people that I met, he became my business manager. But he always kept it real. Like you're gonna reach a plateau or reach a ceiling to where you're gonna have to either do something shady or you're gonna have to go in that back room and bend over. And he's like, listen, it ain't up for me to tell you which way to go, but just know it's coming. And you can never say nobody told you that. So I done met the Clive Davises of the world and all that and been in them spaces. And that's why when Bert died, and I had a label and I was doing all these deals, you know, for artists and publishing deals and all this stuff. But when he died, I was like, you know what? It's time for me to bow out gracefully because that was my protector in that space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any deal I was making, I'm going to Bert. Bert, what you think? Well, let me talk to him. Or he would bring the deal. What you want to do this? Do you want to? Yeah, I'll do that. We can make that happen. Because he was always going to be the manager or the accountant. So if anybody out there, Google Bert Padell, and you'll understand what I'm talking about or who he was to the industry. But going through all that and seeing, you know, some of the guys I came up with go in those doors, and in my mind I'm like, for a long time I knew what they was doing. You know, it's stuff that's coming to light now. We knew in the 90s and the 2000s what these dudes was doing. You know what I mean? But so when you see somebody on trial or somebody get hung up on something, a lot of us like, man, we been knew that was going on.
Yeah.
It's just now times change though. And you think you can keep doing the same stuff. No, times change. You can't get away with that no more.
Yeah.
Social media, the light is on you. There's certain rules, regulations, and policies have changed. You know what I mean? You can't say certain things to certain people no more. You can't smack nobody on their ass like you used to coming in the office. Nope. You got to go to HR now or you might get sued.
Hey, I don't even know if you can smack an ass in sports no more.
Right. Nah.
Like, good game.
Good game.
Oh,
nah.
man. No. See, I ain't even like
Go
the way
see
you...
the GM. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy now. But back then there was a lot of course, misogynistic stuff going on, even in the music.
We evolve. We evolve as people.
Yeah. Well, you should grow up and more mature at some point.
Yeah.
Now we listen to these songs, we can just bob our head and have a good time. Where back in the day, you actually was trying to be that guy. You was trying to get to that mill or get that car or wear that chain or be in a certain space. You know what I mean? You was really trying to aspire to something.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the music, you can always tell what's happening in the world based on the music. So when all that drill stuff came and cats was just trying to get on pills and was killing each other, it was in the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you was mature enough to say, all right, I hear what they saying, that ain't meaning nothing to me. But if you was a young dude that got caught up in that and believed all that stuff, and every other week there was a different gun coming out that they was promoting like it was bubblegum cars, you know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever, then you got jammed up in that. And so we went from being aspiring to be something to now being depressed and wanting to kill each other and for nothing, really get locked away for a long ass time for nothing.
Yeah, a lot of people, since the whole Gucci and Pooh Shiesty thing happened, a lot of people been holding Gucci to like a standard because before there was drill, there was Gucci and Jeezy, and it's like you influenced me. I'm gonna be real, yeah. Like I had a snowman shirt, I had a So Icy shirt, man. We was and Gucci was coming through Braddock like it was clockwork.
Yeah, a lot of dudes got kids around here.
I think I know a couple motherfuckers that look like Gucci.
Yeah, man, you'd be surprised with females from Pittsburgh got kids by these rap dudes that now live in Atlanta.
Hey, man, I know a couple dudes that look like Gucci, man.
That's real.
Nah, but just diving deeper into the music game because I knew a little bit,
right,
but I wanted to know if it was like okay for you to speak on it because I know you a changed man now, so all the stuff in your past could be your past, but just fast forwarding whenever you. As a matter of fact, no. When was your lights is on moment where you was like, I got to stop this all together?
Right. Well, when you consistent at something, whether it's good or bad, and things start going against your energy, your vibe, the way you was brought up or raised, I always had that feeling of like, man, I know I shouldn't be doing this, man. My dad, even though he lived his life, he did teach me certain things and what not to do, what I shouldn't get into. And my mom definitely didn't raise me like that. So, and everybody around me was hardworking or owned something. So, but I came into an era in the culture when the music, the drug game, all that stuff was hitting. You know what I mean? The partying. It was a lifestyle that nobody had ever seen before. Before after, my dad's generation didn't see the money we were seeing. You know what I mean? And after that, they still ain't seeing this money that we seen in the 90s on whatever level. Money was plentiful in the 90s. The music game, the streets, whatever you wanted to do, the money was there. And so I got caught up in that, because in my mind, I was like a lot of dudes, I'm going to just get this money and I'm going to put it into this and then I'm out. Man, but when the money keep coming and you got a plug to something and you don't think like, man, this ain't never going to stop, man. I got the system down pat. Yeah, you don't think about outside forces. Like I said earlier when we were speaking, you can't control somebody else. Somebody else could fuck the whole thing up, and that's what happens. You know what I mean? When I got indicted, I was out of the game. I got out the game in 9-6. I got indicted in 9-8.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
That's when I realized, like, yeah, the rules to this ain't what we was seeing on TV or when you get out, it's nah. They had a case against you way before you got out.
And that's where a lot of people get lost at. Mm-hmm. They don't read that part of the paperwork whenever they say, we've been investigating this group since 2011. So it's like, yeah, I was done for 2 years. I ain't did.
Man, they had wiretaps, man. They had phone. Man, see, I'm the type of dude that keep receipts. I don't throw nothing away. I can show you when they was up on the wiretap on my phone. Because, see, after an investigation, this is what people don't tell you. After the investigation is over, they mail you all the stuff. They got to send you all the stuff that they had you on. Or they send it to your peoples. Say, if you ain't had nothing to do with me, but I was on a phone call with you, if you was my mom or aunt, when the investigation's over, you're going to get a letter in the mail telling you that your phone was on the wiretap.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's what really hurt me. And I didn't know they did that. Like, I was with pastors. I was talking to people that had nothing to do with the game, but they all got letters with my name saying that so they was like, what? I just got a letter about. So I had to explain to them what that was about and all, because elders don't be knowing. And civilians don't be knowing.
That's enough to humble you right there.
Man, I was so embarrassed, man. And then, you know, you got to go to court. I had to spend a grip on court, man. And so all that, the game was and for me, people always say that I live with regrets that I haven't even, I would go through it again. Like, people think I'm crazy, but that was the most fun. It was crazy. I met so many people that now I'm in business with, that I wouldn't have been in business with or known if I wouldn't have been in that life. Not saying that they was in the life, but I met them from seeing them out or meeting them and asking them, like, man, how you do that? How you get into real estate? I wouldn't have met that person if I wasn't able to be in that space with that person, white or black. You know, and then even going back to when I was in the game, dealing with the Italian mafia cats and dealing with the Israelis, because people don't know back in the day, the Israelis were mercenaries. You hired them to go kill people all over the world or get guns from them. So when I met my man from Israel, he was just coming off of that, trying to change his life. You know what I'm saying? So we met each other at a crossroad. And so, and then, you know, being in the middle of them two brokering deals and all this sort of stuff that came with that. And then, you know, a piece of that puzzle was Kong's. If anybody know about Kong's and you came to party out there, you know that was the number one spot for a minute. And a young dude like me had my hand all in it and running it, you know, at a certain spot. But even going to war with them, you know, the mafia dudes, I had to go to war with them about our money. But I didn't care about no history of the mafia and cutting people's heads out. I didn't know about none of that. All I knew is you owed me money. I got an army of dudes with me. So we going to war, what we doing? So I ended up, if you ever seen the movie Belly, we had a scene like that where we come up in the club, you know, only thing was it was closed and it was only their people there. We come up in the club, man, I ain't got no mask on or none of that. And I got my dudes from DC and Philly with me. Them was my hitters. We go up in there, catch them all off guard, man. Not only did we get our money, I took the turntables, I took the speakers, because they at gunpoint, they off guard, they can't do nothing. And after doing that, you know, one of my Italian guys, man, that I won't mention his name, but he was very influential in my life as far as business and teaching me things. It was like, yo, man, y'all dudes had some balls, man. I got more respect from them dudes after that happened. Because one thing I learned too is some of them are all in business with each other, but they don't all like each other. Yeah. So when I did that, my one man was like, man, you had some balls to do that, but I'm glad you did it because he owed me money too. You know what I mean? So that started the legend on that side.
So this story get deeper. This
man,
story
you
get
ain't heard
deeper.
that. Wait till the book come out. You be like, man, this is the PG version.
Oh man, see, hey, I gotta subscribe. I gotta. This is the free trial.
Yeah, listen.
Oh man, this is you enlightening me on stuff that I never even knew about. Because whenever, and this is just letting y'all into my life a little bit. Whenever I was introduced to you, like you said, it was an older person saying like, "This is a positive guy. He moving and shaking. He know the music, the rappers, the R&B singers. Like, and there was proof. There's proof in the pudding. And if you follow this man on Facebook or anything, like you're gonna see the pictures every once in a while.
Yeah, because it's one is for me. Some people it only feel like I'm bragging because that's your spirit.
Yeah.
But if you understand where I'm coming from, then you understand I'm trying to inspire you, let you know I'm from Braddock.
Yeah.
You can do the same stuff, man. As a matter of fact, if you come sit with me for a minute, I'll kind of give you the formula on how to do it. You know what I mean? And so my saying is share, inspire, and empower. You know what I mean? And so I really, truly mean that. So even with my business consulting business that I have now that's been going on 25 years, if you 21 and under, I'm going to give you some game. I'm going to teach you, help you get your business and show you how to get it off the ground, or at least show you how, some shortcuts on how to get to a certain destination without having to, for lack of better words, cheat yourself or cheat somebody. But I'm gonna get that to you for free. Over 21, yeah, I'm gonna charge you because you're a grown man now, and because you should be paying your way. But you know, I got so many clients now from, you know, major Fortune 500 companies down to, you know, small cats in the hood that's just trying to start something, that now I'm able to get that knowledge away for free most of the time. I don't even charge people half the time because the clients that I have that's on another level pay so well that I'm good. I don't have to charge too many people for anything unless I know that you have it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or you are on a level that you can go to the next level, but you trying to cheat yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna let you get over on me. And I know you spent $50,000 in the party last night, or whatever. So, but those are different types of things. But I'm always willing to give game, and all the way down to when we talk about Mac Miller and dudes like that coming into my office asking for advice. God bless the dead. But there's so many artists in Pittsburgh that I've helped, so many small businesses that I've helped, but they don't want to say my name on camera or say it out loud because then everybody will know the cheat code.
Yeah.
So I'll watch dudes do interviews and say all these other people, mention all this other stuff except the person that put them on. Even monetarily, so many people I didn't put money behind that, and not saying that they gotta say my name or gotta glorify me or any type of thing like that. But sometimes you gotta pay homage and respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to the person that helps you out when nobody else was there.
We talked about that off camera. Not the gatekeeping part, but you know what I mean? It's like, if this is the person who you talk to get the game, to open up your LLC, to do this and do that, it's like, just say it so somebody else could do it. But some people be so tight with their information.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I can't, because if he know too, then I got competition.
Right.
Bro, with this podcast thing, I'm probably one of the first people in Pittsburgh that jumped on the wave. I got so much information on it that sometimes I'll slip up. If you're having a conversation with me, I'll be telling you so much stuff that you,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, hold on, I could have made $200 real quick, but I'm just an open book with it.
Well, the universe will always bless you, man. That's what I
Yeah.
tell everybody, man. Give the knowledge away, give the information away, give the lessons away, because the universe will always reward you, even when you don't want to, even when you don't think you deserve to be rewarded. It's gonna come back to you.
Man, I be having to clear this hard drive, man. This hard drive be, whenever I learn some more stuff, I just apply it. And the reason why I'm not scared to give other people the game and the knowledge is because I've seen people that I went to school with, and we all got the same teachers. They taught us all the same stuff, and only half applied it.
Right.
I'm
And
not
you
a-
all got the same 24 hours.
Yeah, and I know how I use mine, and I know how you use yours. You can't compare.
Right.
You
At
can't
all.
compete with me. If you thinking that just because we got the same knowledge that you could compete with me, you tripping.
Right.
Because I know how I spend my 24. Like, this is important. This is a work day for me.
Right. And everybody throughout history, whatever industry you've been in, there's going to be the Willie Lump that came out of UCLA, and then you're going to have the Jerry Rice that came out of a small black school. Now, depending on how you see the world or how hungry you are or how determined, how resilient you are, one is going to become the Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion. The other one, you don't even remember his name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all in you, man. Like I said, start here, it goes here. So that's why coming up, you always heard, whether it's on the hoop court, fighting, swimming, whatever you call it, if you was that dude that battled all the odds and overcame, they always said, man, he got heart. Even if you didn't win, you went after it.
Man,
he got heart.
I would love to hear that from my coaches back in the day. Like, man, I don't care if he ain't the fastest, he ain't the strongest, but that boy run through a wall.
Right. If you had heart, that's all you needed. Forget the trophy. Somebody said you had heart. Man, my uncle's telling me I had heart was all I needed to fuel me sometimes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so, but there's other ways, other words, other things that people need to hear that bring that same thing out of them. And it could be, something that we feel is small because, again, our perspective. Something small to me could be big to somebody else. So I never take that for granted. When somebody minimize how somebody's feeling, man, you can't do that, man. Like, this man's, in his mind, this is something to him.
This is the biggest thing.
Yeah, the biggest thing. And so you got to kind of take it like that. So, we having bottles of water, man, that's nothing to us. But to a kid in Sudan, man, listen, that could change his life.
Bro, I always joke about it, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm growing. I'm a work in progress. But after the Super Bowl, I always joke like, oh, somebody in Africa about to have like a Ravens shirt. I mean, because the losing shirt go out to the third world countries.
Right.
So I always joke about that, but it's like, that's something we taking for granted. They printed up 50,000 of those expecting this team to win. Oh, man, they ain't win, man. Throw them shirts off to the... Meanwhile, it's like, it's a whole Hanes shirt.
Man,
this is 100% cotton.
Man, there's kids somewhere dancing around them shirts, making up dance moves to them shirts.
They still don't know who won the Super Bowl.
Right. That's real, man. That is real.
For real.
It's all in your head, man, or how you see the world, man. And again, I don't take nothing for granted. I'm grateful for everything. People always ask me, because one of my rituals is I don't go to bed until 12:01. And that's because I just need to see the next day. If I make it to that day in my mind, it's just me. 12:01, I made it to the next day. I can chill now. I made it.
Yeah.
And that has made, me more of a go-getter. You know what I mean? I don't get hung up on superstitions and all that stuff except that one.
Yeah, which that's the only one.
12:01, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. But that's because of where we grew up at, man, and understanding that a lot of people lost their life at a young age, man, and didn't get to see that next day. So for whatever reason, that stuck with me.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
See, my go-to ain't what time I go to sleep. It's what time I wake up. Because I'm a young dude, but I got an old soul. And I always look at life through like the oldest lens. And before there was Thomas Edison or whatever guy who created the light and the lamp and all that stuff, bro, your work day started whenever that sun hit the horizon.
How my grandfather was.
Yeah, so it's like I don't want to miss no sunlight, because if I'm missing sunlight, then those is working hours for me.
That's real.
A baby
I'm a
need
4-hour guy.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole life. Most people have died off of that. My body has built up a tolerance for 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
If
only
I
a
get
baby
more than
need
that,
8.
it means I crashed out because my body was just. But for the most part, I get 4 hours, and I'm up by like maybe 4:35. Because even in my mind, though, with clients I have all the way on the other side of the world, it may be 4 o'clock in the morning with me, but it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon somewhere else. When I'm dealing with businesses, so I need to be up at certain times and ready to go and be. And a lot of times, my business, as far as the for-profit side, is done by noon.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm getting to the office at 8 in the morning or whatever, now I can focus on my purpose, which is violence prevention, and whatever comes with that. And so even when we talk about, on the business side, I got 72 employees worldwide for my consulting company, sports marketing, entertainment stuff that I still consult on. That's one thing. But on the violence prevention side, I've been able to provide, 25 jobs for people that normally wouldn't be able to work a regular 9 to 5. Because I'm from the land of misfit toys. You know what I mean? If anybody understand that. we just misfits. We don't fit into anybody's system. We can't really do the 9 to 5 thing all like that. But you come from a certain background, a certain socioeconomic background, or just an area where you're told that you can't make it from, or that the odds are against you. But you still got that talent. You still got these gifts. You're still a genius, especially in my eyes anyway. But you just need an outlet to whether it's giving back or doing something in your community or whatever that may look like. I've been able to provide those opportunities that, for the most part, nobody even think about that. There was no violence prevention job out here. Nobody, you know what I mean? Now we got 18 people, 2 programs working in the Mon Valley in 6 neighborhoods, doing all that we can to get in front of problems, to help resolve problems, to bring resources. You can come into a program right now that's 18 to 34 years old, and we'll help you not only with your child support or get a bus pass or get a job, but you also going to get mental health support, therapeutic support, 200 hours of that you couldn't get anywhere else to get you right as a black man.
Yeah.
And that's unheard of.
And the biggest thing I feel like they getting, and we've been talking about this for like the last 45 minutes to an hour, you get the relationship.
Yeah.
You get the phone number. Man, the phone number is everything. Once you get that open line of communication with a person, that's all you really need. And I go back to growing up in Braddock, going to Liberty Baptist. My mom used to be able to call the pastor like in the midnight hour.
Pastor Berkeley.
Yeah, Pastor
That's still
Berkeley.
my church.
Yeah, that's my church. I don't play.
Yeah.
I be on live. I be watching them on live because I be working on Sundays. But the way he used to answer in the middle of the night, I'm like, yeah. That's
he
that
come
one
from
right
this. He from North Braddock. He from Braddock.
Man.
Grew up with my dad. You know what I mean? His brother was my football coach with Mr. Reeves back when we was kids. So we all got that experience. We all understand the culture and what we up against. And some of them come from a time when it was a little more beautiful than it was when we came up. You know what I mean? But based on that, the love that they had for us, at some point we had to get out to somebody else. You know, we had to see through all the smoke and the bullshit and all the craziness and wake up like, I got another day to do this. You know what I'm saying? I got a day to love somebody or to share something. You know, and we are obligated to do that. I don't care what nobody say when they be like, because you get a lot of black athletes. I don't owe the hood nothing. I don't. Nah, bro. We kept your black ass going. We came to those games.
Yeah.
We made sure things was in place, like you had shoes, whatever it was. Support is support. So in my mind, we can't have the attitude of other people because they didn't go through what we went through. We have the obligation of giving back, whether it's knowledge, monetary, whatever it may be, in word, we have to do that. We don't have the luxury of not doing that.
Yeah, and a lot of times people who make it, a lot of times be, oh, they just want for money. Nobody wants to even open up your checkbook.
Right.
Loving a bitch became like yourself. So how the fuck you loving someone else? Every other day feel like it's raining. Life is hard and I know sometimes it be draining. Life is hard and I know sometimes it get crazy. I know.
Brought to you by